Ever get that feeling, like you're wandering into a dusty old library and you just get this sense that there are these incredible stories hidden in those stacks just waiting to be discovered?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, get ready, because today we are pulling back the curtain on one of those hidden figures.
I love it.
We're diving into the world of Jane Wroth.
Ah, Jane Roth, what a story. Hers is one of those fascinating threads that kind of weaves its way through, some really major historical events.
Right.
And the cool thing is, we have some incredible primary sources to really guide our deep dive today.
Oh.
We're going to be looking at excerpts from, get this, The Life and Times of Jane Wroth, Countess of Rochford.
Catchy.
And it was actually written by her 9th great-grandson.
Wow, talk about family history.
Right.
That's amazing. So let's rewind the clock a bit, back to 1659. This is the year Jane was born, right in the thick of things. England was just kind of catching its breath after the English Civil War.
A really, really tumultuous time, to say the least.
I can only imagine the tension, that feeling of a nation trying to piece itself back together, And what's fascinating is that she's just a year old when the monarchy is restored. Talk about being born at a pivotal moment. What was that transition like for a family like the Roths?
Well, for the Roths, who had, very deep roots in the aristocracy, the Restoration was a chance to really reclaim their position, solidify their influence.
Of course.
They already had connections to some major landowners, politicians, those in the know, but the return of the monarchy really just solidified their place in this new order.
Right.
Imagine growing up surrounded by those power dynamics, where every conversation, every decision could shift the balance of power. That was Jane's world.
Wow.
High stakes.
Yeah, that's incredible. So she's born into this world of power and politics.
Absolutely.
So we've got Jane growing up in this world of power and politics. And like we know, for women of her time, one of the biggest power plays was,
marriage.
Exactly. And Jane's marriage.
Oh, yeah.
This is where things get really interesting.
Now you're talking. Because we're not talking about just some, random aristocrat.
Right.
This is William Bentinck we're talking about here.
Okay, all right. So who is this William Bentinck?
So he's a close confidant
to
William of Orange.
Yeah.
The guy who eventually becomes King William III.
Right, of course, yeah.
So this marriage, it's not just some, love story.
Right.
This is like a strategic alliance of epic proportions.
Wow.
Think about it. It'd be like securing some powerful political alliance, like today.
Sure.
It's about access, influence.
Leverage.
Leverage, exactly. And Jane, by marrying William, she's placing herself right at the heart of not just English, but Dutch politics as well.
Wow. Okay, hold on to your hats, everyone, because things are about to get really interesting here.
Oh, yeah.
The year is 1688.
Here we go.
And the Glorious Revolution explodes onto the scene.
Buckle up.
William of Orange sets his sights on that English throne.
He's going for it.
And guess who's right there by his side?
Let me guess.
Our girl Jane's husband.
Of course. Exactly. And you know what? William Bentinck's unwavering loyalty, especially during the Glorious Revolution, that doesn't go unnoticed.
Right.
His actions, they basically catapult him to a position of serious power.
Yeah.
He's made the Earl of Portland.
Okay, so we're not just talking about a fancy title here.
No. This is serious political clout, right? And Jane, as his wife, she's now the Countess of Portland.
Of course.
Sharing in that power, that influence.
Talk about a power couple, right?
I don't know, right?
So here's Jane now, the Countess of Portland.
Living the dream.
Living in the court of William and Mary.
Exactly.
This isn't like the lavish, over-the-top Stuart court anymore, though, right?
No, you're right.
What's their court like?
It's a complete 180 from that extravagance.
Yeah.
You see, William and Mary, their court, it was much more austere.
Austere meaning?
Oh, simple, not a lot of extravagance.
Okay.
It really reflected their Protestant beliefs.
Right.
But don't let that fool you. There's still plenty of power being wielded.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Behind the scenes.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this whole behind-the-scenes power.
All right, so
they're living in this court, surrounded by, like you said, these subtle power plays.
Oh, yeah.
What did that look like for Jane specifically? Did she have any, big wins we can point to as the Countess of Portland?
Well, it's tough to say for sure. We don't exactly have, her personal diaries to spill the tea.
Right.
But we can kind of piece together how she might have, wielded that influence.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, just imagine
Yeah.
being married to one of the king's most trusted advisors.
Right.
You're hosting these gatherings.
Yeah.
You're, whispering in ears. You're strategically connecting people.
She's playing the game, right?
Oh, absolutely. Jane was like a master networker,
Yeah.
using her position to just kind of subtly shape opinions and events.
Oh, wow. It's like she's playing a high-stakes game of chess, moving people and ideas around the board.
Exactly. And remember, this is a time when, like, alliances are constantly shifting.
Yeah, yeah.
Rumors could make or break reputations.
Oh, for sure.
Women like Jane, they were often the ones gathering the information,
Right. Wow.
building the bridges, smoothing over those tensions.
Oh, wow.
Their power was in their subtlety, their connections.
That's incredible. And like any good power couple, they had a legacy to build.
Oh, absolutely.
Jane and William, they had a bunch of kids, right?
Oh, yeah, they weren't messing around. We're talking multiple sons, daughters,
Wow.
all inheriting that Bentinck name.
Right.
And those crucial connections.
So they're like set up for life.
Oh, absolutely. Their children, they were like the rock stars of their day.
Right.
Inheriting their parents' influence and those connections.
Wow.
They became major players in not just England, but the Netherlands as well.
Talk about a dynasty.
I know, right?
And all this is happening while England itself is going through some serious changes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Bill of Rights
Huge.
gets passed during Jane's lifetime.
Can you imagine?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Imagine the king suddenly having to answer to Parliament.
Right. Power shift.
Yeah, that's a seismic shift in power.
Absolutely.
And that's what the Bill of Rights represented.
It really puts Jane's life into perspective. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here she is navigating those inner circles of power, witnessing this like monumental shift in her nation's government.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what she really thght about it all.
Right, right.
But sadly, without those personal letters or, those tell-all diaries,
Mhm.
we're kind of left to imagine her perspective on such a tumultuous time.
It's like we're just catching these glimpses of her story through a fractured mirror.
Yeah.
These intriguing fragments that hint at a life like fully lived,
Precisely. But from what we can see, I mean, she was a woman of resilience,
Oh, yeah.
adaptability,
Right.
and this quiet strength. And by the early 1700s, as England's finding its footing with this new balance of power, it seems like Jane kind of takes a step back from the spotlight.
Okay.
Perhaps a well-deserved break
Maybe, yeah.
after decades of, being in the thick of it.
Yeah, right.
She passed away in 1703 during Queen Anne's reign.
So while she may not have, worn a crown or led armies into battle, Jane Wroth's story, it's a powerful reminder that history is made up of countless individual journeys.
Absolutely.
And her journey, it's one of navigating these revolutions, shifting alliances,
Yeah.
these constant power plays.
Behind the scenes, always working.
And through it all, she left her mark, not just on her family's legacy,
Right.
but on a nation.
And you know what? It makes you wonder, how many other Janes are out there? Their stories tucked away in the margins of history. I mean, it makes you want to grab your metaphorical magnifying glass and just start digging,
Right.
because there's a whole world of hidden figures just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. And that's what I think is so exciting, right? Is that each one of those stories, they have something to teach us about power, about influence, about the forces that shape our world.
It's all connected.
Yeah. So the next time you're thinking about history and you're thinking, oh, it's just kings and queens, remember Jane Wroth?
Remember Jane,
She reminds us that sometimes the most fascinating stories
the best one.
are the ones just waiting to be unearthed, the ones that really challenge our assumptions and kind of reveal that hidden tapestry of lives that came before us.
Beautifully said. I love it. Unearthing those hidden stories. That's what we're all about.
That's what it's all about. That's the fun of it all. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and helping us uncover the incredible story of Jane Wroth.
Oh, my pleasure. Always happy to dive into these forgotten corners of history.
And thank you all for listening to The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring. There are so many more stories out there waiting to be discovered.